Hey everybody, Sarah T here from Fargo, North Dakota. I am in my kitchen and about to make our Tuscan Chilean sea bass on a bed of baked risotto with sauteed zucchini. I would say it's a fairly easy recipe, one that could be done in about an hour or so, but one that is full of flavor and zest. Okay, so we're gonna do our mise en place and make sure that everything is cut and prepped and ready to go. It makes life easy. Oh, there's the oven, it's ready to go. Nice and quick, kitchen magic. So we wanna make sure that we get, or at least I like to, have all of my veggies prepped in bowls or on my cutting board, just to kind of help the process go smoother. And it helps me, especially if my kids are running around, just to think straight, make sure I'm not messing up ingredients and prep it right. So we're gonna make sure we cut our onion. We're gonna need our onion for our baked risotto. So I'm gonna get that done first because that's gonna go on the stovetop first. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut our onion. We're gonna dice it here. I like it nice and small, so we're gonna get them in small pieces here. You can have big as they're gonna cook down. They're gonna be big enough. Well, they'll cook down nice for us in the baked risotto. So our onions are done. All right, garlic. I always say garlic should already come. I know it comes pre-chopped. It's not my favorite thing to cut, people. Let's just face it. You know, getting your pieces nice and fine. This one is going to be for our marinade for the Chilean sea bass and for my sauteed zucchini, just to give it a little bit more pop in that. Okay, so again, staying in the spirit of getting all of our ingredients ready for the next step, I am going to do my sauteed zucchini. So a lot of the times we like to grill it and do it longwise, but I am going to just saute it and give it some points. So I'd like to make some nice thin slivers, points, whatever you want to call it, that will change the plate texture and look. So we're just gonna give it some points. Tell me there is nothing better than getting some fresh herbs from your garden, from your store, from your market. So these herbs are going to help really bring out those flavors in the Tuscan sea bass. So we want to prep those ahead of time. Again, it's a labor of love. They have those tools, but that's more dishes. So we want to just get ourselves, this is where I don't measure. You can, it says, you know, a couple teaspoons, a couple tablespoons, but when it comes to marinating and plating for our rice, I really think you can't go wrong with enough, especially if it's gonna sit and take in all of those beautiful flavors. So we're gonna take the time, literally time and time, and we're just going to destem it. Okay, so you see I just kind of have the rough chop. I'm gonna get the oregano a little smaller, but the one beautiful part about this fish dish is that I can see those fresh herbs still on it when it's baking and when it comes out. So we have this beautiful herb blend that we're gonna put aside and we're ready for our marinade. Okay, so this radish, you know, I really can take the time to either do this before when I want to plate or I want to do it after. You could use a mandolin to get really thin pieces of this, but this knife is one of my favorite knives. I got it as a gift for my anniversary this year, birthday. You know, those are the best presents to get things for my kitchen, and get them really nice and thin so that we have things to choose for to plate for on top of our fish. That's gonna give it that pop of color, a little bit of crispness, right for that dish. Okay, so we are gonna get our rice set up, and this one is an easy baked risotto. Risotto is truly a labor of love if you do it by watching it on that stove. So what I like to do is stick it in the oven and bake it. It's great for kids and multitasking. I get it in and we're done. So we're gonna put in our onion here. I'm gonna not use the whole onion, a little over half of the onion. So I'm just gonna cook it down just a little bit. Then from here we are gonna pour in all of our other ingredients. Okay, so we have a good boil on it. I'm just gonna throw some salt. Throw some pepper. I'm gonna mix one more time. I'm gonna shut it off. We're gonna get her in the oven. So let's go ahead and open it up. I love a Dutch oven. So multifunctional. I do everything in this. We're gonna set it in here. We're not gonna open it up. We're gonna wait about 35 minutes, but we're gonna be sharing this oven with our sea bass in a little bit. But by the time that is ready with marinating to get in, the rice should go ahead and be done. Okay, so we wanna really get ahead on this marinade and make sure you give it that time to really soak up the flavor. So I went ahead and I have 2 really nice fillets of this Chilean sea bass. So I went ahead and pressed it just with a paper towel, no rinsing. I was able to, the skin is off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in. We're not baking in this dish, but I'm gonna marinate in this dish. So, okay, so let's go ahead and get our fresh lemon juice on this so you can really get our flavors going. Big old lemon. I smell it, and I love rolling it just to kind of start to get those juices flowing. Okay, so always got to remember it's nice and hot when you get in there. So we're gonna get our pan. It's nice piping hot. We're gonna get some butter going. Gonna get that melted. We're gonna put our marinade in it, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our fish. Get that in. Get it nice and hot, and then pop our fish in the oven. So. To give it a good mix around. You could also, if you find that maybe you're pressed for time, you can put it back in the oven and get a little bit. This is about 8 tablespoons of butter. That's quite a bit of butter. I only have 2 pieces, so I'm doing not as much. So I'm gonna throw this back in the oven and get it to melt a little bit more. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our fish in there, start basting it, and get that fish baking. Okay, so I have a nice heat on this. The pan should be nice and hot. I am going to set my fish in the dish. I hear it's starting to cook, so I don't want to cook it too much, too hot. So we need to get our spoon. I just want to baste this a little bit. Let's get some juice going on our fish here before we stick it in the oven to finish it. Again, it could be about 15 minutes, might be a little bit sooner depending upon how hot that is. Moving them around just so we move that heat around. Good. Let's put a little salt. Sometimes this dish is fast. Sometimes this dish is not. That is one of my favorite go-to mixed seasonings for any vegetable. A little dash. Move those around. They're cooking nicely. I already see that they're a little bit tender, but still not that weepy feeling. that you might get when you eat a soggy vegetable. Okay, we're gonna let those cook, saute down just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna pull them as we get ready for our rice and our sea bass to come. This is the yummy part, everyone. We've got some fresh parm, we've got our herbs. I tasted the rice. Oh, that is one of the most important things you could do is go ahead and give it a taste. Look at how creamy it looks. It's glistening and just beautiful. Tastes great. I really taste that homemade broth. Makes a really big difference having, I think, the homemade broth in it. And you have to remember, this pan came out of the oven, so it's nice and hot. So we're just gonna mix it. Mix it all together. And all the creamy goodness that you'd get, I feel, from a stovetop risotto is now in a kind of set it and forget it risotto, which is one of my favorite things to do, is I can still make a beautiful meal for my family, but I don't have to babysit a risotto. So we've got our rice dish, and I think it looks good. I'm gonna give it one more taste just with the Parmesan and the herbs. So that's ready to go. Our zucchini is ready to go, and we're gonna check on our fish. We can go ahead and pull that. We've got a gorgeous Chilean sea bass that is ready to go. We're gonna go ahead, get our plates ready. Take a look at the nice, beautiful color from the butter. We've got our risotto and our zucchini. Let's go ahead and plate that up and try it out. So just to really once we have all our awesome ingredients ready to go, we're just gonna start plating it up, everyone. Just put it in there, have fun with it, taste it. If this were what we were doing for dinner, I would already have screaming kids all around me ready to go. So I'm just gonna get my fish, kind of get it nice and neat and tidy here. Get a little bit of that juice done. I'll lay it right on top of that rice. Give it a little smash. So we've got our fish, our risotto, and then we're just gonna start playing around with our zucchini. Let's just make a little rows. Nice and in there. I can already smell all the garlic, all the thyme, all the oregano. It's just beautiful. So then what we're gonna do next is just take it over, give it its fresh herbs, a little sparkle. You can come over. We're gonna really work with our herbs here. Get a little bit on there. Gonna get a fresh lemon slice, somewhat thin. Put it right on here. It's impressive. Again, kids. Put a little from our garden chive right on there. A little bit of radish just for color. A good 3 pieces. And then, oh, the best part, everybody. One of the best parts is getting in some of the fresh, beautiful lemon zest. Oh, it just smells so good. It is such a light, I feel like the acid really helps to break up the fat that you're gonna get from the butter and the fatty richness that you're getting from the risotto. So we have that, a little bit more. And then you just put a little bit of your sauce right on the side. I'd say we're pretty ready to go. So thank you so much for cooking with me here in my kitchen in Fargo and just taking time to get to know me and one of our favorite dishes to serve our company and our family when you come to town to visit us. So I enjoy it, and we're gonna take a bite of it. I say let's take a bite. That's the best part. They do that on all the best cooking shows, don't they? Right? It's the most amazing thing.